Hello everybody, Nataliya here, and today we're gonna create this delicious turtle chocolates homemade by you. If you can put effort and a little bit time and you watch my video how I did it, you will have these delicious chocolates that not only your family will love but also your friends and your neighbors. So if you are ready, let's get started. Here is what we will need for this our recipe. So I have from store this caramel candy. It's soft caramel. So what I do, I unwrap them and I will unwrap them all. So this is definitely no recipe by measurements. I just do as much as it takes. So I have in here pecans that it's already crushed, bought from the store, Bulk Barn store. I have a semi-sweet melts. It's a milk chocolate. Also I have dark chocolate that I will make for myself, some for my family. Everybody like milk chocolate. I like dark chocolate better. We will have maybe half of the teaspoon or even teaspoon, doesn't matter, of vanilla extract, because I do not make it too much of the candy today, so I think half of the teaspoon will be okay. Also we will need some heavy cream. I have 18% in here. Any of the cream will do, just make sure it's not sour cream. So if you don't have a candy, caramel candy like this, what you can use sweetened condensed milk. You boil this, you submerge in the water in a pot and put on a stove to boil for 3 to 4 hours. Just make sure, keep your eye on the pot so it's always water in it, and I usually put like water till the rim so it stays like this. And I have in here that I boiled one. This is what you're gonna have, but I did not boil long enough because I will be doing with the caramel candy. But this is consistency that I boiled for maybe 2.5 hours. And then I just left in a pot to cool down till morning, and I just pull out from water in the morning. But as you can see, this is a little bit, I was just mixing it from the bottom because the bottom was a little bit thicker. So I did it needs to be boiled a little bit longer because it's not thick enough for our candy. It will be liquidy. So definitely 2.5 hours not enough, but this is going to be perfect for me to bake a cake that I have in mind. So we're gonna pull this away, but this is kind of like alternative for you if you don't have caramel candy. Also you can use caramel, you know, the dip for the apples when they sell in the store in plastic containers. Those caramels, soft caramel, will do also a good job for this candy. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna finish peel this candy. Add in here, and this is the biggest bowl, and later when caramel melt, I will put in here a little bit of cream. I don't know how much yet. I will tell you after I melt this candy, because the candy actually, even if it's hard, but it's still, you know, it's soft caramel but still hard enough to be very hard in your candy that we're making. So cream will help to soften up a little bit caramel so it's not so hard when it's ready, all ready candy, but make them a little bit gooey as the one you have from the store. And that's why we need that cream. So I'm gonna peel my candy, and then chocolates in here. I don't know how much I have in here. I always put in my melting pot a little bit by a little bit and just add in later, so chocolates don't overcook if I will melt too many of them at the same time. So I will see you after I melt this in the microwave, and we will add our ingredients together. I microwave my candy for about a minute. I did like 30 seconds, then 20 more seconds, so about a little bit over than a minute. And as you can see, it's a nice and gooey. It's melted, but the house kind of cool, so the caramel cooled down pretty fast. And by the volume, it's about 1:1 with the pecans and the caramel. So I never measure. I always go as much as caramel would take or pecans to mix them all together. So that's why I'm not gonna have really like a measurements for this, but I will add vanilla because I love vanilla. And let's see, I will add maybe, I'm using a teaspoon here, but I will put half of the teaspoon only, because this is not very big portion. Usually I do a lot if I'm planning to give away lots, and maybe I will do a little bit more later. Right now I just wanna create some chocolates for my family and whoever else wanted. So because we know the caramel will thicken right back to original form as a caramel candy, so that's why I will use my cream. So I found in my store the heaviest cream is 18%. The other heaviest cream is a whipping cream, so I don't want to have a whipping cream. It was like a 35%, so I'm using this one, and I'm gonna add just like this a little bit. This is maybe like a let's see, maybe if I would look, maybe 4 tablespoons. And I'm just gonna mix it to make this a little bit more gooey, because I don't want a caramel to be hard in my candy and break a teeth. I want this to be nice and gooey. So we are gonna mix. If you don't have microwave, the other solution for you will be to use double boiler and melt candy. Okay, it will take away the cream, will get into it, and just before I mix my pecans, I will warm up a little bit more. It will be easier to mix. And once again, I'm not mixing my ingredients in the mixer. I do have a good electrical mixer, but this is not something that needs to be blended so well. I want those pecans to be a little bit, you know, not crushed to the powder. Okay, so 4 tablespoons. I think this should keep a okay. We'll see, you never guess. I always let me just add a little, maybe 1 more tablespoon, and that's it. So let's consider 5 tablespoons for this portion. And we're gonna mix again. Oh, caramel smells so good. Plus with vanilla. So I always melt my caramel in a bowl a little bit bigger, so that way I put pecans right into this bowl and mix them together. So let me put this a little bit more on the microwave so it's a little bit more liquefied and will be easier to mix with the pecans. Alright, I heat up for another 20 seconds and it's much liquidy right now. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna grab my pecans and we're just gonna pour a little bit by little bit just to see how much this will take. And it's definitely need more. Oh, this is my favorite candy, guys. Well, I like truffles too. And I did last year truffles. I like any candy, just if it's involved chocolate in it or caramel. Okay, we definitely can go for more, and I think we will be using all the pecans that we have. It's just the more pecans you put inside, the more you can use any nuts you really like. You can have almonds or well, doesn't matter which one, but this is the like in a recipe that you buy from Turtles, from the store, the Turtles candy, right? So as you can see, it's getting tough to blend, but I'm gonna put rest of, and it's, I would say, like, you know, 50-50 caramel and the pecans, and we're gonna mix it till it's all incorporate. Better, of course, if you find some dish that not lets your caramel stick to the walls of your dish. And usually I do in a plastic dish. Today I don't know why I decided to use these dishes, but it should be coming out. It's really hard to get mixed right now because obviously caramel combined with nuts getting cooler, and not as easy. Okay, so far what I see, usually I would even add more nuts in here, but here's the consistency. Let me just check if I actually mix all the way through. It's not very easy. Definitely it's going to be very gooey and lots of caramel. Oh, this is going to be so good. So here's the close-up, so you can see the consistency. It's all like a 50-50 mix, and we are going to separate them by little portions. Just let me get this caramel kind of a little bit out of the wall. Okay, so I need a teaspoon. I need a teaspoon, and I will be right back. Before we start create our candy, I just want to show you. So this is the candy where you know, my husband liked to buy, and here's how they look like, and this is what we are going for. So I saved the box because it's obviously empty box, and I have 2 of them. So after my candy ready, I will put them in this box. And to be honest, store-bought candy, I do not like this taste. The caramel from me, I don't know, that's just not the same taste. So my caramel candy Turtles is much tastier in my opinion, and you can be a judge of that by, you know, you can try this recipe and see. So I got in a teaspoon just like this. You can use your hands to create form, and you just place on a parchment paper little portions. Let's see if we can just do just like that. Doesn't have to be perfect, because that's the purpose of this candy, because that's exactly how they look when you buy them in a store. Okay, so we're just gonna place it little portions, like I'm using a teaspoon, but if I would like to do proper measurement, it feels like it's like a tablespoon of product. Well, make a size of the candy as you like. And yes, sometimes it's a little tricky because they are sticking. So I'm using a spoon, but this one, silicone, is really helping to get them out because it doesn't stick to a silicone. So if you have a little teaspoon that is like a silicone spoon, that would be great. Or simply you can just use your hands, really, guys. If this is just for you, wash your hands clean and form them with your hands. Okay, so this is what we are going to do like this till we done our batch of candy. We're gonna put the whole thing on this parchment paper, and I will put this in the fridge so it's absolutely cold and doesn't move. And we're gonna melt our chocolates and do next step as we did with peanut butter candy. So I will be right back after I finish and put them on the fridge maybe for 20 minutes or so, and we will be ready to dip them in the chocolate. Who's ready to play with some yummy chocolates? It's all melted, and now I did not spray with any grease my parchment paper. It's as it is. I just roll it and put on my glass tray, but as you can see, it doesn't stick. Even caramel, it's a sticky stuff, did not stick at all. So this is really awesome. What we're gonna do now, we're just gonna dip one by one, and maybe we need like an extra tool to help to give it up. This one, of course, chocolate, you can shake it up a little bit because this caramel not gonna go melt like we did with the peanut butter candy. And you just place it right back in here and get another one. The process is really fast, to be honest. You can help with something just to like wipe it out excess of the chocolate and place back on your tray. And that's what we are going to do with all these candies. And I have still lots of candy left on the tray. It's gonna be very big batch, actually. It looks like not a lot, but it is. And I'm gonna show you how much I still have left. You might want to have even like a toothpick just to help you to pull it out. But here it is, guys, how much in a dish. I still have a lot in here. So my family gonna be really happy with all this goodness. Maybe even some friends will get. Just to shake it up excess of the chocolates. But obviously these chocolates will be like under. Just go like on the bottom, you see, spread it out. And that's really how they look like in a store-bought chocolates. So I'm gonna continue this till I done with all my chocolates, and I will do this in the kitchen so my chocolates constantly getting warming up in here. And I have like here very little bit water just on the bottom, so my pan with the chocolate doesn't touch water. It's really important, otherwise your chocolate will get really hard. This out. Yeah, I will have to. Okay, this one round one catching up the nuts, so the fork is better. If you don't have this tool, you can use your regular fork from the kitchen and will do the same purpose. You just slightly tap it and just place in an empty space where you just pull out your chocolates. This is really satisfying, actually. I love this part, is the best. And the best part is when my boys will come home from hockey, we will have new chocolates in the house. So tell me now, who wants to be my neighbor? I know you all, right? It's good to be my neighbors, because then you're gonna have a candy for Christmas. So that's what my neighbors across the street will get, candy. Alright, I will be right back when I'm done dip all my chocolates. So now my candy is out of the fridge after I dip them, and I use a toothpick, because when you pull out them from the chocolate, it's kind of easy to slide them from the fork, and as you can see, they line up nice and perfect. Without toothpick, they went a little bit on the sides, but create this kind of like a pool. And when I start using a toothpick, it was a less excess of the chocolate on the bottom, and that's how they look like on the bottom. You see the goodness, and they do not stick to parchment paper, which is wonderful. And now I have these boxes that I ask my family after they finish the candy not to recycle boxes, so I can simply now put back my homemade turtles. And look at that, they fit like a gloves, and nobody know that this is not store-bought. Well, they don't need to know, right? Obviously my family know, and they love my chocolates. My friends love my chocolates, and I already receiving comments if I sell my chocolates. I used to did, not anymore. Well, this one is not gonna fit in here, so we're just gonna place this right now on this tray. And I have another box, and after I put these chocolates away, I will create another batch of chocolates by using the same parchment paper. I'm just gonna put again my caramel and pecans forms on the same paper, because as you can see, it's not sticking, it's coming out from the paper very easy. So I will continue. And you know, at the Christmas time, I feel like my house turning into the Santa shop, well, Mrs. Claus shop, because it's always smell of chocolates, of sweets, of vanilla, and that's what I love. So I will continue now, create more candy, and I think I will do, I'm gonna make some little bit maybe with dark chocolates, I don't know, or I'm just gonna create second batch, and I will see you shortly. Well, my favorite people, I picked the most biggest candy that I create, and we're gonna cut in half and see how they look like on the inside. On the outside, it looks wonderful. You can see through pecan caramels and pecans, and that's what it is. It doesn't have to be perfect form, because that's what turtle candy is all about, to create those kind of like craters from the pecans. So now let's cut in half and see how they look like. Not hard to cut at all, and here it is. If you want caramel, because this is just like right from the fridge, the caramel look a little bit hard, but when it stays on a table at the room temperature, a caramel will be softer and looks more gooier. But you know what's gonna happen now, right? I'm not gonna be able to talk. Oh, and my mouth is drooling already. Guys, I will have to try it. It was not hard to bite at all. Oh, so good. You can, no, seriously, it's hard to talk when you're drooling. You can add as much caramel as you like. If you want your candy more gooey, then put less pecans. You can even do half of the nut, like half of the pecan, and then drip caramel right on the top, let that cool, and then dip into the chocolates. Okay, I'm busy. Guys, I wish you a very sweet day, and I will see you with my new tutorial.